I never played Trinity before. You see, even with the reverse Trinity already received quite long ago, I never played her, mostly because I did try Trinity before the reworks and it was a disaster for me. Luckily, the past few days ago, I tried for certain weapon and I noticed that I haven't used Trinity quite a while now, so I tried her again, hoping that this time I can play her quite well. And you know what? She's actually quite good, I would say. That's why this video I will share with you how I build my own Trinity and what kind of situation you can use Trinity. Now, spoilers ahead, this Trinity build, you can expect that it will be another Champion Blessing build since, for starter, I didn't pledge to Pair Sequence or New Loka, so I can't get all the augment, and I'm very lazy to play the circuit to obtain all the augment, so you can expect that I don't have all Trinity augment except her Champion Blessing, and based on what I could tell, all the augment except Champion Blessing can really amp up Trinity usage when you want to use her as a buffer. That's why I would say that aside from Champion Blessing, all the other augment is completely fine, and whether you want to use it or not, does depend on you. For me, I won't use them. Let's start by her passive. Trinity's passive allows all allies and herself within affinity range gain extra health based on half of Trinity's maximum energy. This is useful because that also shows that even if you don't use any health mod, just energy alone already push up not just yourself but also all the allies having extra health, which at some point you might say that will be very useful, especially when you have survivability issue. I would say that this is a good passive. First ability, Well of Life. This will allow Trinity to suspend the one enemy onto the air and make it invincible, but this will in exchange that the enemy will pulse health for all the allies around it every second, recovering your health. And the great thing is that if you die while around the enemies affected by the Well of Life, the enemy will take your position instead of you. But this will cause you to have 60-second cooldown before you can trigger another cheat death animation again. This is useful when you know that you are in a great danger and you want to use this ability to cheat death. But if you play very well and you can take a hit very well, there's not really much you can use about this ability. Consider that all you want to use is just trying to cheat that with this ability. And if you talk about health recovery, yeah, another ability that we will be talking later on will be much better compared to this, even though it costs much higher energy. The second ability, Energy Vampire. Cast on the enemy and the enemy will be suspended again. This time around, that enemy won't be invulnerable. But the most important part is that this affected enemy will always pulse energy wave every few seconds until you reach the maximum duration. At the same time, this affected enemy will take a portion of true damage, which means after a few seconds, it will automatically die. The great thing about this ability is that when you kill this affected enemy before the duration runs out, then it will pulse out all the remaining energy proportion to the remaining duration that it can pulse out immediately to all the allies around it, which means this ability can be quite useful if you want to start a game, cast on the one enemy and kill it immediately, then you can gain a huge portion of energy in a single burst. Not only that, this ability can also be used to cast onto a heavy unit so that they can slowly get killed from the true damage. For the third ability, we have Link. Link allows Trinity to convert all the damage taken from her diverted to all the enemies that have been linked onto her. This link enemy will be scalable through ability strength. However, this number is always a whole number, similar to Saku Grasp of Low, where instead of strength, it is affected by range. Both of these abilities, no matter what kind of number you achieve in the final situation, which mostly will be decimal, it will never round off into the nearest number, which means no matter you get yourself 4.1 or 4.8, it will always give you 4. That's why when you want to increase the number of enemies you can link through ability strength, you have to calculate yourself how much strength you need to achieve a certain threshold. At the same time, Link will also provide Trinity status resistance, which means no matter it's knocked back or even any status damage, Trinity will be completely immune, mostly because it can just divert it to all the Link enemy. And for her last ability, Blessing. Blessing is very simple. When you use it, it will recover Trinity and all the allies around her, health and shield, and also provide damage reduction. It's a very simple ability, but the reason why this ability is more preferable than Well of Life is that it has the augment Champion Blessing, where you can stack extra primary and secondary critical chance based on how much health you have recovered, up to the maximum of 350%. This is a very useful augment because this will allow Trinity to finally have the offensive buff. Unfortunately, if you base on many Trinity guides, you notice that they were always suggesting you to use the Bleeding Dragon key in your gear, mainly because Champion Blessing need to stack based on how much percentage of maximum health you have recovered. If you have high maximum health because of this passive or health mod you have equipped, then if you lose too little health due to the high maximum energy you have, then Blessing can only consider that you recover a few percentage of it, making it that the Champion Blessing stack very slowly. That's why you need to use the Bleeding Dragon key to reduce maximum health, so that the same amount of health loss and recover will be considered much higher when you have less maximum health. But this will based on whether can you take on the low health issue or not, since when you're using Trinity, you also hope that you have good survivability. If you ask me, I don't really prefer you to use it if you really have survival issue because of the low health. There's a very simple trick if you do not want to use Bleeding Dragon key in your Trinity. All you need to do is that instead of always using the link, you intentionally not use the link in the beginning. Instead, always using Blessing to recover your health and shield. But mostly, you also want to get the damage reduction. Taking the damage reduction, you try to take enough hit before you accidentally knock yourself down. Then, use Blessing again to keep on replenish your health and stacking Champion Blessing buff until when you reach up to the maximum stack, you can immediately cast the link and start your defensive play and really start your build. That's how I play with my Trinity if you're not using Bleeding Dragon Key. And there you have it. Trinity is actually a very strong Warframe, mainly because she can provide a very good defensive capability for not just herself but also all the allies. Unfortunately, due to how many people prefer to have offense over defense, her defense capability just not many people really like about her. And this is the reason why until nowadays, when talk about Trinity, everyone's first impression is about Champion Blessing build. But I will say that if you want to, you can also try something like her defensive capability. You never know that whether her defensive abilities can actually allow you to survive long enough. At least Inars also have the same issues, but I would say that sometimes you have to change your playstyle.
If this is your first time watching, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out any newest contents from me. Why not leave your comments down below if you got any ideas or thoughts you want to share with all of us. And that's it from me, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!